Homework number 23 on algebra and angles. The first topic is vertical, adjacent, and complementary angles, level 1. In this question, you're asked to find the measure of the missing angle. When you see this box, that means that the two angles sum to 90 degrees, or they're complementary. So we could say that 31 plus A is equal to 90. We can use our inverse operations to find that missing angle measure. So A is equal to 59 degrees. We'll type that here and try another question. Again, we see this 90-degree angle box, so we know that angle A plus 69 degrees is equal to 90. Use our inverse operation of subtraction. Use subtraction on both sides. That's called the subtraction property of equality. And we'll find our missing angle measure. In this question, we see that the two angles form a straight line. That means they are supplementary. And supplementary angles have a sum of 180 degrees. Again, use your inverse operation. Use that property of equality to subtract it from both sides and find that missing angle measure. You can always use a calculator to compute this math if you need to. We'll get 117 here, so we'll type that in the answer box. So for each round, you'll be given a new scenario. Sometimes the angles are supplementary, like they are here, and you would add them together and write that their sum is 180. Sometimes the situation shows a 90-degree corner box, which means that the angles are complementary. So you would write the sum is equal to 90. And sometimes you'll get a scenario like this, where you're finding the missing angle measures, but some of them are supplementary and some of them are vertical or equal to each other, right? So if I want to know the measure of angle C, my two options are, I could find the measure of angle B first, and then whatever B is, C would be, because they are vertical angles. Or I could find the measure of angle C first by seeing that it is supplementary to 64. Or I could find B first because it's also supplementary to 64. But once I set this up, using the right relationship and finding the missing angle, I can find other missing angles. So B is equal to 116. So if B is equal to 116, so is C, because they are vertical. Let's take a look at the next topic. Contains algebraic angles. So you're still going to use the same technique as before. Identify the type of relationship. This is complementary. But instead of numbers, each expression will have some letters in it. So we know that the sum of these two angles, 2q minus 3 and 5q plus 2, has a sum of 90 degrees. So on the left-hand side, I'm going to combine these q terms to get 7q. I'm going to combine, because they're on the same side, a minus 3 with a plus 2. That gives me a negative 1. So be careful with your signs here. Now I'm going to use my inverse operations. 7q is equal to 91. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 7. Now in this problem, I don't know what 91 divided by 7 is, so I'm going to take my calculator out. I'm going to turn it on here, and I'm going to do 91 divided by 7 and see what I get. 13. So that means that q is equal to 13. So I can type that here in the answer box. In my next problem, I see that my relationship are these two adjacent angles that are supplementary. So that means 4t minus 7 plus 83 is equal to 180. So these two are like terms. So the 4t will remain the same, but a negative 7 plus 83, a negative 7 plus 83 is positive 76. Now I'm going to subtract 76 from both sides, giving me 4t is equal to 104. Divide both sides by 4 and use a calculator if I need to. So that means that the value of t is 26. The next topic asks us to solve some angle measures without actually having a drawing. So you could draw this scenario if you'd like. You have complementary angles, right? Two angles that make 90. And the measure of angle 1 is 2x minus 13. And the measure of angle 2 is 2x plus 7. Now you don't have to draw this relationship. However, it might help you visualize the setup of your algebra. So I know that these two angles, 2x minus 13 and 2x plus 7, have a sum of 90. I'm going to combine my like terms. 4x minus 6 equals 90. I'm going to add 6 to both sides, giving me 4x equals 96. And then divide both sides by 4, giving me x is equal to 24. Now it didn't ask me what x was. It asked me what the measure of angle 1 is. And angle 1 is 2x minus 13. But I did do some math over here that told me what x was. So if x is 24, I have a little bit more to do, because I know that angle 1 has a measure of 2 x's. So I have two 24s and then minus 13. So you can use a calculator here to compute that you're going to do 2 times 24, which is 48, and 48 minus 13, which is 35. So the actual answer to this question is 35. Let's try one more. This one tells you that angle 1 and 2 are supplementary. You might want to draw that situation if you feel like you need to. Label angle 1 and label angle 2. But either way, you know that these two angles have a sum of 180 degrees. So angle 1 plus angle 2 is 180 degrees. You're going to do all of the combining like terms like you did before and solving for x to give you 4x minus 8 equals 180. 4x equals 188. Divide by 4. It gives you 47. But that's only the answer for x, not the answer for the measure of angle 2. So we need to take our 47 and we need to put it into the measure of angle 2 formula. So 47 minus 9 is equal to 38. And this is how you complete the last section here. That concludes the tutorial for homework number 23.